As the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. But finding the perfect place and the perfect way to practice is the hardest part of the whole ordeal. And since procrastination is our biggest enemy, I found ways to battle and win that fight. Hello there, girls and boys, and welcome back to the channel. Practicing is a very important element to anything we do as human beings. And music, it's one of the hardest things that requires a lot of practice, of course. And you'll see, when I began my musical journey, I kinda felt, not necessarily speaking, that prone to practicing, because I thought that, man, music is about what comes out of your heart, right? So what would be the purpose of practicing? And I couldn't be more wrong, because it is out of practice that you can actually develop the language that allows you to communicate your ideas through music. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the elements and some of the techniques and good habits that I have developed as a musician to practice, and especially now using particularly advanced technology that it's available to every single one of us. Because I'm going to be disclosing my use of my phone and some of the apps that I have downloaded on it, and also the Spark Mini amplifier, that it's a very badass solution for practicing purposes, and you'll see my opinion on it after using it for quite a while now. So if this is your jam, let's get into it. But before we go, if this is your first time on the channel, I welcome you, because in here I show you every single thing I do in order to create, produce, and of course perform my music live, because I know that making a living as a musician is not a dream, it's a possibility. And if I can do it, of course you can do it. With that being said, let's get into it. As someone who has practiced martial arts for the vast majority of his lifetime, I have learned the value and the importance of the virtue of discipline, and how much it translates into different areas of our lives. For example, as a mixing engineer and music producer, I spent countless hours developing a proper practicing routine that allowed me to hone those skills, where simplicity and efficiency are what matters the most. And by the removal of distractions, the effectiveness of the training session increases. This is how I applied those principles to my guitar practice. One of the first issues that I had to deal with when developing my practicing routine was the fact that I was bound to this very room for practicing purposes. Because as it is right now, I have no access to a room on which I can plug my guitar directly to an amplifier, which will be roaring, of course, being super noisy. So I had to find a solution to use my headphones. And the thing is that the only solution that I got is plugging my guitar and the entirety of my pedal board to the mixing rig that I got here. So of course that meant that I had to be stuck in this room for even longer than I wanted to. And for as much as I love being here and working in here, you know what I mean. You need to have some form of variety when it comes to the scenery surrounding you, right? That and the fact that wearing headphones while practicing guitar, with those headphones being plugged into an interface, makes it one of the most cumbersome things to do. And also this chair is not meant to be used while playing guitar on, so it was actually giving me back problems. But this is where I found the fantastic Spark by Positive Grid. This particular version in question is the Spark Go, which is a tiny amplifier that allows you to connect your guitar to it, and also, through the use of Bluetooth, connect the output of your phone. It is louder than it looks, and it also has a headphone output. This is a modular-based amplifier, which means that it can replicate the sound of many different pedals, amplifiers, and cabinets through the magic of software. You can have up to 4 different presets installed on the Spark, which can be modified through the use of the mobile app. More on that later. But one thing that I love about this guy is the fact that you can actually strap it or attach it to your strap, allowing you to move around freely, as it runs on its own rechargeable battery, which could last up to 8 hours depending on the use of the amp. With the Spark being so tiny, it allowed me to finally have a way to practice wherever I want, in any way I want. So one of the things that I love about the Spark is the fact that I can plug my phone using Bluetooth, so I can actually play back some of my backing tracks for practicing purposes. But it doesn't stop there. I'm going to show you now some of the apps that I use for practicing purposes. Let's take a look. Smartphones are distraction machines. Let me show you how I fix that problem on my iPhone by creating a very minimalistic setup optimized for guitar practice. It is all based on a feature on the iPhone known as Focus Mode, which allows you to set a series of parameters that will be followed as soon as you activate one of those modes. For example, removing some icons from your desk. The way to do it is by simply going to Settings, clicking on Focus, and there you can create your own parameters. For example, my guitar practice, it's muting basically every notification-based app and loads immediately a home screen that comes loaded with my guitar practice apps. And in order to create one of those custom home screens, you simply gotta get into Wiggle mode and click over there, and there you simply create a new desktop area and drop the apps that you want. Speaking of the apps, the first one that I will show you is Guitar Pro, a software that has been around forever, but it's a fantastic way to learn new songs because it's basically speaking an score and tab editor, which comes loaded with many features such as MIDI playback and a mixer, allowing you to solo or mute any of the elements of the track that you're working on. The next one is going to be AnyTune Pro, which is what I use to play back my backing tracks. This software allows you to speed up or speed down and increase or decrease the pitch of the track that you're working on. It also allows you to leave markers, which means that you can actually focus on practicing particular sections of the track that you're practicing. The next one is Chords, which is basically speaking an interactive chord book. It's filled to the rim with chords, scales, and anything you might need to keep improving and expanding your knowledge when it comes to music theory. Very good. And now, as I mentioned before, the Spark app, which is what I use to control my Spark Go. This is a very feature-rich app because it goes beyond only modifying the tones on your Spark, as it allows you to share your creations or download those created by other Spark users. It comes loaded with different amps and effects, covering all of your guitar needs, making practicing much more enjoyable. And as with any product released in the last few years, it comes with AI-based features, in the form of an AI-powered backing track generator that follows what you're playing, allegedly. And if you don't like the idea of playing alongside an AI-based drummer, well, it also has access to a huge collection of backing tracks there at your disposal from within the app. Very cool. And the last part of my chain is the use of the Soundbrenner, which, even though it's a device that I have many gripes with, I can't deny that I love the execution of it and how good it is. For those of you who don't know, Soundbrenner is a metronome that is based on vibrations. Let me explain. Don't let its horrid design fool you. This is actually a metronome that is pretending to look like a watch. The idea is to feel the rhythm coming from the metronome rather than hearing it in your ears. And as you might imagine, the device vibrates in accord to the tempo and the rhythm that you're following. It comes with a free app that you can download regardless of you owning the Soundbrenner or not. I consider it one of the best metronomes you can install on your phone. Unlike a fitness app, it allows you to time your practice sessions and track your efforts like a high-performance athlete. And of course, you can use it to synchronize with your Soundbrenner, making the whole practicing session more precise, fun, and I gotta say, efficient. So there you have it, girls and boys. What do you think? For me, practicing has been kind of the bane of my existence because even though I love becoming good at whatever I'm doing, I'm kind of a lazy guy, so I try to avoid practicing as much as I can by using all sorts of excuses. But now that I've found ways to practice without the need of being inside of this room, for example, or confined to a pair of headphones on my ears, well, now I can practice as much as I need to, which is becoming much more of a thing now. I hope this encourages you to practice more, and also if I gave you some form of inspiration, well, please let me know if you got better ideas on how to implement something to your practicing routine. As usual, girls and boys, if you'd like to support this channel, the best way to do it is by listening to music on Apple Music or Spotify, and also by following us on Instagram and X, because that's the best way for you to get in touch with us in a much more personal basis. Now, girls and boys, as every single time that I meet you, I just gotta remind you that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. Remember that I will see you when I see you.